Welcome to a rainy Nordschleife. Today, Dwyer is driving his first ever race in the rain. Pay attention to the right side because we have a GTP car going off already before the green flag. This was a Penny Arcade League Chaos Week race. The rain update had just updated. I felt what better place than this to actually give it a go, and there was plenty of chaos to unfold. As you can see already, we're not getting through 200 feet without some sort of problems. All right, so I take to the grass, move back in. This was so much fun and so much panic. As everyone was, it's their first time doing this. They're getting used to everything. They're going off and visiting all sorts of new areas of the track. The damage was off for this race. So we were expecting people to go off, to get damaged, and I was no exception. So far, I'm doing pretty well, and I'm getting a false sense of security of how I'm doing. And it begins. We had a kind of wet but not raining qualifying, at least when I was there, and now the rain has started, and it does not stop for some time. Not sure if I need to brake there or not. That was a kind of an early break for me, and I did not mean to dive, but that was my evasive action. As a result, I kind of just back off and let them go through. Also letting this GTP go through, or maybe it was LMP too. This was a multi-class race. GR86s were also in this, but we won't be seeing any of them from my perspective. Ian up ahead actually kind of got high-sided later in the race, and then over the comms asked me to help him out. Unfortunately, I was not on the scene fast enough. Raven was kind enough to get him, and there is my first little boo-boo. Staying off to the side so others can get by on track, although they decide to also visit the wall. See, there's Ian waiting for me up ahead. That was not intentional, as most of everyone's mistakes were not intentional. Sometimes I also just didn't want to pass people because I wanted to experience being in that spray of water. I was very much a coward and did not want to get too close, and oftentimes just lifted to get through. Making the decision to go around the back, having a little tap on the wall, but I think that was probably the right decision, and it's the decision I made. Because I don't know how I'm going to... it's just going to be a learning process, as every video I've been seeing on this stuff says it is, of how to get close to somebody when you cannot see where they are, and then not being able to see where your breaking points or their breaking points are on the track. We do have that nice flashing light in the back of the car to help out, but I mean, I anticipate getting punted and punting a few people on accident before this season is through. I'll do my best not to punt, but never know. It's more than likely I will just spin and then have no control of the car. So it's not getting pouring wet yet. There's still quite a bit of grip, but it's fallen away. It's a very chatty radio between everyone, but it was first day. Everyone's trying to figure things out, explain their own experiences, share what knowledge they have. But overall, the I think it was a great time. Everyone was happy with how things turned out. It ends up looking amazing too near the end of the race, with like the sun going down and then the rain still being a reflection. I I thought to myself like I want to get married in this VR race. And if I haven't said before, I pretty much race in VR, but I don't really like how that looks. Like watching a replay, so I don't do my replays in VR. Also, this is a way for me to see my mistakes and what I did wrong, such as the first spin. I'm pretty sure there was a puddle there that I just aquaplaned through. And that was the other thing with the heavy rain is later in the lap I would go through a corner and then there's now suddenly a puddle there where I didn't expect there to be one, and I'm going to be learning where these puddles form on the track, and where the rivers form on the track. So it's gonna be fun. Evasive maneuvers there. Oop, little slide there. I also don't know, as we're coming down to the big super long straight, how the draft works in the rain, because you're getting a lot of spray, and someone was saying, Skiggity was saying that they had a higher top speed when it was light rain versus heavy rain later in the race, which is interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, other times when I'm on that super long straight, I really noticed the draft pulling me along. I didn't really notice it this race when I got behind someone. I wasn't looking to pass them, but I was also just not noticing being pulled along. So I'll be learning that as well. Some of you who are already motorsports fan might already know the answer to this, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna say. Whoa, that was a big incident. I think there was a puddle there that I suddenly learned was there. Uh, Also, I think braking, as I've been watching videos on how to do this before I did it, you don't want to brake where you normally brake because of the greasiness of the line, of the racing line. So maybe that was part of it. But that was a big off. Now we're really starting to see some of the puddles forming on the side of the track, and there is danger. Driving through a puddle, aquaplaning, losing control. Oh, and also sometimes, like I would aquaplane and I'd lose grip, and then I'd catch it, and it was a big, like it was a big catch. Like suddenly all the grip was back, but I was still kind of jerking the wheel to try and counter the oversteer, which I don't know if it worked or not. But that's another feeling I have to get used to. It's very slidey. I noticed that puddle down in the carousel every time I went through there, and I don't know if I ever actually touched it. I might have one point. We'll see as we watch. Oh, going through puddles is not the way. Well, I guess there's kind of no avoiding them through there. Big sliding, then catch. Like there. Like that was a kind of a catch and then slam. Lost all grip, suddenly got it back, but I think I was too much counter steering. That's corner I gotta get better at that one. Like even in the dry, I'm not too great at that one. Woohoo! So that's what happens when you drive through a puddle. I think at that point I didn't realize that there was going to be one there, but that is also the like you really every lap with the rain seems like a new adventure because this one was oh, and now the sun kind of setting and we get this kind of pink purple sunset. This is where it was like getting romantic. And in in the spirit of romance, let's spin as we dance the car around the silly track. This is very scary. I don't know how to take this turn. I think I lifted a whole lot every time I went through. And then we've got puddles forming, trying to stay off them, but still do a line that will facilitate braking. That's not where you want to brake. Yeah, I go too far off the track. So don't brake in puddles. That's a good thing to learn. Too much acceleration there. I lose grip. But back at it. All right, so the rain has stopped, but we still get this lovely pink track during sunset. So that was sort of the worst of it. But now I'm right in someone's spray, and they brake here. I did not realize they were going to do that. Take evasive action, slow way down, let them go by. Because once again, they're learning, I'm learning. No hard feelings, just hard learning. I really appreciate the darkness of the clouds. Like, there's the whole new weather black box and weather info before the race. And, oh, it's going to be fun spotting on an endurance race and keeping an eye on the weather when it's going to come in. But, like, that you can also visually see, like, oh, there's dark clouds. It's probably going to rain. It was also interesting to hear some folks, it was more during qualifying than this race, But some folks were having like no rain at certain parts of the track, and some other people were having rain, which is something, that iRacing has, or the people who iRacing gave a copy to have been saying, like, that is something that we want to do, which is awesome. And you kind of really want to see it on like a track like this that's really, really long. Look at that, an actual on-track pass, although I'm pretty sure they just let me by, as everyone is just figuring out what works, what does not work. I've said that before, but I want to reiterate, I don't think that was a very competitive pass. It's also very difficult to pass on the wet. Even when you feel like you've got the speed, although at no point in this race did I feel like I had the speed to get by anybody, you really can't. This track's hard enough to pass on, and then now there's a puddle where you want to pass. So it's like, good luck. And like even this lap, you can kind of see the puddles subsiding a little more. There still is that nice puddle in the carousel, but it's less and less as we go through, and you definitely feel the grip coming back when it stops raining. It's nowhere near dry, but you feel the difference between when it's raining and when it's not, when the track is starting to dry up. It's not going to dry a whole lot because we're going into the night, so sun's not going to help us out. Braking here because I believe this is the point where I got a call that, or Ian requested help, that they got high-sided and needed someone to dislodge them. And then I just asked, which side are you on? Pulled off so that Raven could get by. But Raven, being a wonderful person, got there first. And see, there's Ian in need of help. And Raven does it. I also nearly kill the car behind me going through that puddle. Totally not intentional, just losing control. But then the four of us were kind of all together all race. And just making sure everyone gets out of this okay. Everyone's driving, and then we drive off. Resume our adventure around this wet mountain. The river is kind of gone now, so that wasn't as treacherous a braking. I still go too far to the left there, but I think I realized that and then just like kind of overslowed because I didn't want to spin out like I did the other lap. But it's just force of habit of that I go there to brake, and then now it's like, no, you can't now because there's a puddle there. And you don't think, because you're not going super fast at that point, that it's going to be that big a deal, but it is. Or it was for me the previous lap. I also look at that, like, I love how there's more spray when you go through a puddle. Like, you hear it, but that's the first time I actually got to see it following somebody in this replay. I totally didn't notice it when we were racing, but that's a very nice touch. I don't think it showed up, but earlier I was following Raven, and they like blipped, and the car jumped up in the air, and the spray went up in the air with them. I actually might run through and see if I can't catch it again if I missed it, because it was early in the race. And that was that was really cool and also scary because now there's spray from the air, just 10 feet in the air. There's a car spraying you with water. It returns to the ground eventually, but we'll see what iRacing does, if anything, with that. That the spray comes off the car and not off the ground itself. Oh no! It almost got through there. But, who cares? No damage. I think even if they held the brakes, it's wet. It's not gonna stop them on a dime. Probably too much braking there, but very cautious. I think during qualifying or practice, I lost it going over the jump. There, look at that spray. It intensifies when they go through the puddle. That's awesome. Following through the sand trap, not as awesome. Now there's no spray from me, but there's plenty of spray off of the car ahead. Interesting. This time I actually stay out of the puddle. Good job, I'm learning. I'll forget by next time. Brakes are squeaking. I wonder if they're not hot enough, if it's actually cold now. Ooh, Ian, you gonna split him? Almost. Once again, I cower and back away. Let them go ahead. But it was nice to be with a little pack most of the race. Well, we lose one of our pack members there. I think I do get a slowdown for that, but it kind of bleeds off, and I don't really need to lift at all. Oh, the understeer on there. That's what I was definitely experiencing on. I did a test of Bathurst before this, and it was just weird to get that understeer going through the rain. There's nothing you can do. It's already too late. Carousel on and off. I think this will be my last little battle of the race. Not so much a battle, but just was able to catch up. Because, well, I mean, I could pass, I guess. Although at this point in the race, I'm just like, I'm trying to find the track because it's also getting dark. So you're looking for where is the track, and then where are the puddles. But the grip's coming back. The track is no longer covered in puddles, but it's still wet. You don't have all the grip, but you have enough that you can be a bit more confident. Although none of this is showing me that I'm like pushing or trying to find the limits. I'm just trying to make it around and scanning for where I need to be. you can kind of start seeing like the dry line forming, at least through the jump there, or after the jump. Can't really see it because it's going to be night. Oh no! I think that's what I did a few other corners. Just braking in puddles, and then it's like goodbye control. So scan for those puddles and find them, and then avoid them. Although I was like trying to put like the inside wheels kind of in the puddle so that the outside wheels were they're the ones that have all the force on them and the grip and then the turn, you're getting as close to the apex as you can. That was my thinking, at least. After this, I'll probably watch one of the other folks who are faster than me, see what they did. But not much else to this race, just crossing the line. So thank you for watching. If you haven't tried it already, I'm sure you have. It is awesome. It's tons of fun. It's going to take time to learn. I can't just... That's just my initial feeling after one particular race and like 2 hours of driving. It's going to take time to learn this for us regular humans. In the meantime, thank you for watching. All the best. Goodbye.